Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shivali and you're watching Swiftly Shivali. And today we're talking all things WWDC 2020. I know a lot of my users are new to iOS development and I wanted to introduce Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference to you. If you have any questions or doubts about whether the conference will be worth your time, stick through till the end of this video and I'm going to talk about why this year's WWDC is so special. As you might have heard, Apple is hosting its Worldwide Developers Conference exclusively online this year. This is the 31st year of the conference, and this is the first time the entire conference is taking place online. And I wanted to introduce the conference to my viewers in hopes that it can help educate you about the conference as well as encourage you to take part in it this year. There's a couple of reasons why the conference is extremely special this year. One, because it's hosted exclusively online, and two, because it's entirely free. All of this is thanks to the coronavirus. There are definitely things I'm going to miss about having the conference in person. However, the fact that the conference can reach millions of developers worldwide is entirely amazing, and I hope that everybody out there is taking advantage of this. Last year, I had the privilege of attending WWDC 2019 in San Jose, California. It was such an amazing experience, and I'm kind of sad that it could be the last WW to take place in person. There's so many fun activities that Apple has planned for its developers, and just being there and networking in person is so much fun. I honestly wish I got into the conferences earlier in my career, and that's why I am creating this video in hopes to encourage others to get involved earlier. When I was starting out with iOS development, I wasn't sure if these conferences were for me. I kind of assumed that the conferences are for more seasoned engineers so that they can learn about the latest and greatest technologies that Apple has to offer. And I had no place in the conference because I still needed to learn the basics. And boy, was I wrong. I really wish that I would pay more attention to the videos that Apple put out. I wish that I watched the keynotes fully, and I wish that I had applied to get into the conference way sooner. So last year I was able to attend the conference and it was amazing. We had to apply online and a select few developers, it's pretty much random, could get selected to attend the conference. On top of this, you had to pay about $1,600 US in order to attend. So if you could afford that ticket price along with lodging, food, flight tickets, then you were able to, go ahead and attend the conference. And it was pretty exclusive that way because Apple really had to put a cap on the amount of people that could attend the conference, and this was just due to high demand and limited capacity at the convention center. And this year, there's no such cap because it is completely free and it is completely hosted online. The conference is going to take place this coming week, starting Monday, June 22nd till the 26th, and it's going to be kicked off as always with their keynote. The keynote is amazing because it's not very technical, but it does go over the key features that Apple has to offer with the software and hardware that's coming out this year. One thing I'm kind of excited about is not having to stand in line for so long. Last year, for the keynote, in order to get in, we had to come to the conference at least like 2 hours early if you wanted to be in the room with the actual keynote speakers. Otherwise, you would be in a viewing room, which is still a great experience, but in order to get like that full experience, you had to come in early and stand in line. And that's exactly what I did with my coworkers who had been to the conference before. And I'm so glad I did because I was able to be in the room with the live speakers, and it was just such a fun experience. But one thing I am going to be very happy about is not having to stand in line. There's so many things I'm going to miss about the conference being in person. One of the things is the swag that we get. So before the conference even starts, you have to come in a day earlier, or you have that option to go in a day earlier and pick up your badge, as well as a little swag bag that Apple has ready for you. So this included a really cool reversible jacket along with Apple themed magnetic pins. The magnetic pins are pretty cool because you get to collect them throughout the conference. So in addition to the ones that you got in your swag bag, if you attended different sessions or different events that Apple is throwing throughout the conference, then you get to collect a like special pin. So I attended the AR VR demo, as well as the Swift UI session and the women's networking conference, and so I got little pin emojis based on all of those, and that's just such a fun thing to collect. Unfortunately, having the conference online, we miss out on these fun little things that Apple throws up for you. Additionally, another thing is just networking events in addition to the live sessions. So I attended one networking session related to women in tech. It was a breakfast where they had a panel of women speaking about the software that they created. It was very cool, it was very empowering, and just a really good networking experience. Additionally, we would get free lunch as well as snacks throughout the day, as well as the Apple pop-up merch shop. A lot of that merch is exclusively sold only at WW, and you were able to buy t-shirts, baseball caps. I think my favorite thing was like seeing a really cute little onesie with emojis on it with the theme of the conference. And then finally, another amazing thing about having the conference in person was the Big Bash at the end of the week. It was a really large carnival type event where we had a live band, lots of food, appetizers, and so many drinks, as well as like outdoor games. It was so much fun. I met up with old friends, as well as hung out with my coworkers who also attended the conference. I can't stop like raving about how much fun the conference was. So this year is going to be pretty different, but Apple is still hosting its key events. So of course the keynote kicks off at 10 a.m. Pacific on Monday. After that, that's when the live sessions will be released every day throughout the week in batches. So instead of attending them live at a certain time and having everybody tune in together as we would be for the keynote, these sessions will be released in batches every day, and then you can watch them at your own time. One of the most useful things at WW were the one-on-one developer labs that Apple hosts. Last year it took place in a large open room, and they had different stations set up for various topics and departments. So they had one whole session dedicated to Swift UI because that was something that, you know, they had just released and everybody had questions about that. You can go up to that booth and sign up for a session time and then talk to one of the Apple engineers and discuss your project with them, discuss the problem you're encountering, and they'll help you debug the issue or just explain a concept to you, and it's extremely useful. So at my company, what we did was whatever issues that we had within our app that we wanted clarification on, or that if there was something new that was announced at WWDC that we wanted to see how we can integrate that within our app, we would go and sign up for a slot, be that like networking or Xcode related. We could just go and sign up for a slot and then talk to an Apple engineer who will help us understand the concept better. And then once we had that like one-on-one time with them, we were able to report back to our team and see how we can incorporate it into our app. This year, the developer labs are going to be different, obviously, because you can't meet somebody in person, but they do have a sign up available if you have an Apple developer account with a WebEx link that can be emailed to you if you get selected for a time slot. The time slots will vary from 10 to 55 minutes, and depending on where your time slot is, you will like video call with a developer and they'll be able to answer all of your questions for you. More information can be found on the Apple website, and I'll link it below in the description. And finally, I also wanted to mention that every year at WWDC, Apple releases its beta softwares. So when it releases iOS 14, or the features that are going to be included in iOS 14, if they're going to do that, then they will also release the beta version that you can install on your phone as long as you have an Apple developer's account. This is great, as well as any Mac OS updates and, you know, Xcode, any new software that they plan on releasing, they'll give you the exclusive of the beta version onto your devices so that developers are able to develop against it, as well as test their code thoroughly before it is required to be released in market. This is extremely crucial, so if you miss out on this, then you could really impact the apps that you already have released or that you plan on releasing in the App Store in the future. So I'm very excited about the conference. I can't wait for Monday, and I can't wait to see what Apple announces in terms of software and hardware. I'm particularly interested to hear more about iOS 14. Be sure to follow my Instagram, Swiftly Shefali, to see my daily updates throughout the week. I will be posting regularly in terms of what I see on in the videos of WWDC and which sessions that I'm able to attend. Now that they're all recorded and online, hopefully I'll have time and the ability to watch as many as possible, and I hope you do too. Let me know in the comments below what you're most excited about, and if you've ever attended WWDC in the past before, and what you're expecting from an all-online version of this. I hope this video was useful for you, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.